You think that bright, sterile smell in your kitchen means it's clean and safe for your family. You associate the scent of lemon and pine with health, a signal that germs have been vanquished. But what if I told you that the very products you trust to sanitize your countertops where you prepare your food are silently filling the air? You breathe with a chemical cocktail potentially far more dangerous than the germs you're trying to kill? For the average healthy, younger adult, these daily exposures might be manageable by a robust system. But as we age, our physiology changes. Our lungs lose elasticity, our skin thins and becomes more permeable, and our immune systems become less resilient. For those over 60 or anyone managing conditions like COPD, asthma, or autoimmune issues, the kitchen, the heart of the home, can unwittingly become a nexus of daily, low-level toxic exposure that research suggests may exacerbate existing health struggles. Today, we are conducting a sober examination of what is really under your sink. We will identify 9 common multi-surface kitchen cleaners to avoid, and finally, the 2 that are actually worth having in your home. The first item to remove is the ubiquitous aerosol lemon-scented spray. The sound is unmistakable. The sharp hiss of the aerosol can as you coat your wooden cabinets or laminate counters. The smell is an immediate, overwhelming burst of artificial citrus that fills the room instantly. It's the scent of a Saturday morning chore routine, a product that has been a staple in American cupboards for half a century, representing a quick, easy shine. But for an older adult with declining lung function, that spray isn't freshness. It's an immediate respiratory assault. The Environmental Protection Agency warns that many aerosol sprays and air fresheners are significant sources of volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, such as limonene. While limonene itself gives the lemon scent, it reacts readily with ozone indoors to create formaldehyde and ultrafine particles. The can proudly says, contains real lemon extract, masking the industrial solvents and propellants required to force the product out of the can. The long-term exposure doesn't show up immediately, but studies link chronic VOC exposure to cumulative lung damage and increased sensitization. A simple microfiber cloth dampened with plain water works just as well for light dusting without creating a chemical cloud. But aerosol propellants are obvious offenders. The next item on our list is a liquid that looks harmless, yet carries a deeply penetrating secret ingredient. The second product to avoid is the industrial-strength colored degreaser. It's usually thick, often brightly colored purple or orange, and feels strangely slippery between your fingers if you spill a drop while refilling a spray bottle. You buy it because it promises to cut through the toughest baked-on oven grease with ease, saving you the physical exertion of heavy scrubbing, which is appealing as our joints stiffen. However, the chemical mechanism that dissolves heavy grease so effectively can also readily penetrate aging skin. You need to look for 2-butoxyethanol or butyl salicylic on the safety data sheet, which is rarely on the bottle itself. Health agencies note that these glycol ethers can be absorbed directly through the skin and, in high concentrations in animal studies, have been linked to blood and kidney damage. It is often marketed as biodegradable, a term that refers only to its fate down the drain years later, not its safety on your skin right now. The danger here isn't just inhalation. It's transdermal absorption during a long cleaning session, if you aren't wearing heavy-duty protective gloves. A paste of baking soda and water left to sit on grease spots is an effective, non-toxic abrasive alternative. While degreasers attack the skin, our next common cleaner creates a dangerous chemical reaction right in the air you breathe. The third offender is the classic pine-scented floor and counter cleaner. The smell is thick, resinous, and earthy. It coats the floor and lingers for hours after mopping, providing a sensory signal that the job is done. It evokes memories of deep cleaning days and a sense of rugged, thorough sanitation used by previous generations. Yet for aging respiratory systems, that lingering heavy scent is a signal of ongoing chemical reactivity in your indoor environment. These cleaners often rely on terpenes derivatives of pine oil. Research shows that when these terpenes mix with naturally occurring indoor ozone, they create ultrafine particles and formaldehyde, which is classified as a known carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. The product leans heavily on its natural pine power branding to imply safety and connection to nature. You aren't just smelling pine. You are inhaling the invisible byproducts of a chemical reaction happening in real time in your kitchen air. Plain hot water with a very small amount of mild dish soap is sufficient for cleaning most kitchen floors without the reactive fumes. Pine cleaners seem natural. The next item, however, is purely synthetic and perhaps the most ubiquitous germ killer in modern history. Fourth on the list is the chlorine bleach-based all-purpose spray. The odor is acrid, sharp, and immediately recognizable. It can make your eyes water just by spraying the counter near the sink. It is the gold standard of disinfection in many minds. If it smells like bleach, the belief goes it must be sterile. But for older adults, particularly those with asthma, chronic bronchitis, or emphysema, using bleach is akin to a mild chemical attack on the bronchial tubes. Sodium hypochlorite is a potent oxidative agent. Studies have shown that regular inhalation of bleach aerosols can cause esophageal irritation and has been linked to the development of reactive airways dysfunction syndrome. The bottle promises to kill 99.9% of bacteria, framing it as a health necessity rather than a respiratory irritant. The greatest silent danger, however, is accidental mixing. Combining it with an acidic cleaner or even plain vinegar releases toxic chlorine gas instantly. Hydrogen peroxide-based cleaners offer similar disinfecting properties without the harsh, lung-searing fumes. We know bleach is harsh, but what about the convenient disposable wipes that claim to be gentle enough for everyday use? The fifth item to avoid is the common antibacterial surface wipe. They are cool to the touch, wet, and leave a streaky residue that quickly dries on your quartz or laminate countertops. They represent ultimate modern convenience, a quick swipe to sanitize the counter after handling raw meat or wiping down the refrigerator handle. Yet, the active ingredients in these wipes are far from benign for those with sensitive skin or respiratory conditions. These products usually rely on quaternary ammonium compounds, frequently referred to as quats. Health agencies suggest quats are asthma triggers and known skin irritants. Furthermore, some research indicates overuse of these specific antimicrobial agents may contribute to the development of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. They are marketed with pictures of happy, healthy families, normalizing their use 10 times a day for minor spills. The invisible risk lies in the residue. The film left behind means that subsequent food preparation on that surface may pick up traces of these compounds. Plain soap and water is incredibly effective at physically removing germs through friction without leaving toxic residues behind. While those wipes fail due to residue, the next product fails by pretending to be something it isn't. Number 6 is the green-washed natural brand cleaner. It features stylish, muted packaging with matte labels and smells pleasantly of lavender or eucalyptus, much less harsh than conventional brands. It appeals to a modern desire to do better for the planet and our bodies, feeling like a safe, ethical choice that justifies a higher price tag. Unfortunately, the word natural on a cleaning label is largely unregulated in the United States and offers little protection for older adults with chemical sensitivities. Due to trade secret laws, manufacturers are often not required to list individual fragrance ingredients on the bottle. A single listing of fragrance can mask hundreds of distinct chemicals, including known allergens and potential endocrine disruptors. The botanical leaf motif on the bottle serves to distract from the lack of ingredient transparency on the back label. You may be reacting to a synthetic preservative hidden within the natural fragrance blend without ever knowing the cause. It is safer to choose products explicitly designated fragrance-free, not just unscented, as unscented products often contain masking fragrances to cover chemical smells. Natural is often just a disguise. Our next offender, however, is blatantly aggressive and often used on surfaces right near your face. The 7th item is the ammonia-based glass and surface cleaner. The smell is sharp, pungent, and hits the back of the throat almost instantly upon spraying. It leaves surfaces like oven windows and microwave doors sparkling and streak-free. It's the classic blue liquid used for decades to get a perfect shine on glass and chrome appliances. For an aging respiratory system, that signature sharp smell is a direct irritant to the mucous membranes. Ammonia is highly volatile. Medical literature confirms that high concentrations can cause immediate burning of the nose, throat, and respiratory tract. For those with COPD, even lower levels can trigger significant distress. The product promises a streak-free shine, prioritizing aesthetics over indoor air quality. Like bleach, the danger multiplies exponentially if accidentally mixed with bleach-containing scouring powders, creating toxic chloramine gas. A solution of 50% vinegar and 50% water cleans glass effectively with far less respiratory risk. Liquids and sprays dominate the kitchen, but the next danger comes in a powder form often used in sinks. The 8th item to remove is the chlorinated powder cleanser. It's a gritty white powder that puffs into a fine dust cloud when shaken from the can onto a wet surface. It's viewed as the heavy-duty solution for stained porcelain sinks and scratched countertops, a product that feels like it's really working because of the grit. That fine cloud of dust isn't just messy. For an older adult, it is a direct pathway for respiratory irritation. These powders often contain silica and dry chlorine bleach. When airborne during the act of sprinkling, these fine particulates can be inhaled deep into the lungs, causing mechanical irritation to sensitive tissues. The label emphasizes its whitening power, obscuring the inhalation hazard. The risk occurs in the split second you shake the can before the powder even hits the wet surface to become stable. Baking soda applied to a damp sponge offers excellent scouring power without the toxic dust cloud. We have covered the things you actively clean with. The final item on our avoid list is something you spray just to make the room feel cleaner when you are finished. The final item to avoid is the finishing air freshener mist. It's a fine, lingering aerosol or pump mist designed to smell like an ocean breeze or a field of flowers, the final touch on a clean kitchen. It provides a psychological sense of completion, a signal that the cleaning work is done and the home is ready for guests. Instead of actually removing odors, you are simply coating your nasal passages with oil and potentially hazardous chemicals. Many air fresheners utilize phthalates to help the scent linger longer in the air. Health agencies and numerous research studies have flagged various phthalates as endocrine-disrupting chemicals that can interfere with hormone systems. They are marketed with names invoking nature and purity, masking their deeply synthetic reality. These chemicals settle on surfaces and dust, leading to continuous low-level exposure long after the scent fades. Simply opening a window for 10 minutes or simmering a pot of water with real lemon peels provides genuine freshness without the chemical load. It is a sobering list. The products we trusted for decades seem to turn against us as our bodies change. If you are finding this information helpful in rethinking your kitchen environment, please consider liking this video to help others find this research. So what is left? If we strip away the marketing and the harsh chemicals, what are the two cleaners actually worth having under the sink for an older adult? The first is plain, unscented liquid Castile soap. This is a vegetable-based soap that, when diluted with warm water in a spray bottle or bucket, effectively lifts dirt, grease, and microbes so they can be physically wiped away. It doesn't rely on harsh solvents to dissolve grime or synthetic fragrances to mask it. It is simple, effective surface cleaning that respects your respiratory system. The second is a hydrogen peroxide-based multi-surface cleaner, specifically one that is EPA Safer Choice certified. Sometimes you do need disinfection. Unlike bleach, hydrogen peroxide breaks down into simple water and oxygen after it disinfects, leaving no toxic residue behind. It is effective against pathogens without the severe respiratory and mixing risks associated with chlorine or quartz. Cleaning your kitchen shouldn't be a health hazard. By simplifying your toolkit and removing these 9 common offenders, you protect your long-term health and improve the air quality in the heart of your home. Subscribe for more investigations into safer living as we age. Stay safe and breathe easier.